Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into what makes January 9th birthdays so unique.
Oh, always a fun one.
It is, and to guide us, we'll be using Adam's birthday book.
Always a fun, lighthearted look at birthdays.
Exactly. This isn't about, hard science or anything, more like a playful exploration of what your birthday might say about you.
Seeing what resonates.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
for all you January 9th folks out there, get ready, because Adam's birthday book calls it the Day of Ambition.
Ooh, ambitious. I like it.
Right. It really paints a picture of someone who's driven a natural leader.
Makes sense.
But, and this is key, it's not just about personal ambition.
Okay.
It also highlights this real desire to create the best for their families too, not just themselves.
That's a good distinction. It adds a layer of depth, doesn't it? It's not just about conquering the world, but building something good for loved ones.
Absolutely. But it doesn't stop there.
Mm.
Adam's birthday book also mentions this fascinating pattern of resilience with January 9th birthdays.
Oh. Tell me more.
So it suggests that for those born on January 9th, setbacks, they're not uncommon, but bouncing back stronger. That's kind of their thing.
Interesting. So it's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly, that sort of tenacity of spirit.
Makes sense.
Now, of course, we can't do a deep dive without, addressing any potential pitfalls.
Got to keep it balanced.
Right. And Adam doesn't shy away from those. He points out this tendency for January 9th birthdays towards, well, workaholism.
Ah, so maybe finding that work-life balance is something to watch out for.
Exactly. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah, always.
Speaking of which, let's see what the numbers have to say about January 9th.
All right, let's get numerical.
So Adam's birthday book delves into numerology a bit, explaining that January 9th is ruled by the number 9.
Powerful number, the number 9.
And it's influenced by both Mars, the planet of action,
Right.
and Saturn, the planet of, structure and discipline.
Ooh, that's quite the combination.
It's a lot, right? So in numerology, the number 9, it kind of has this amplifying effect on other numbers.
Oh, interesting. Like a multiplier.
Exactly. Taking other influences and, magnifying them.
I see.
So now combine that with all that Mars and Saturn energy,
And
and you start to see this personality that's not only driven but incredibly disciplined. They have the will to make things happen, plus the focus to see them through.
they've got that drive and follow through. It's like having an inner drill sergeant A&D, a motivational speaker all in one. Ha ha.
Right. But maybe not so great for those spontaneous dance parties.
Well, that's where balance comes in again. Everyone needs a bit of spontaneity.
For sure, even the most driven among us. But speaking of introspection,
Oh, going deeper.
a bit, there's this whole other layer to the January 9th energy. The tarot card connection,
All right, let's hear it.
the Hermit card.
Yeah.
That always makes me think about introspection, seeking knowledge.
Classic hermit themes.
What's your take on that connection to January 9th?
Well, it's interesting for sure. The hermit, like you said, it's about introspection, seeking knowledge, connecting with one's inner wisdom.
Right.
And when we connect that back to the January 9th personality, it starts to make sense,
How so?
Well, think about it. These are individuals who likely need periods of solitude to recharge, to really delve into their thoughts and feelings.
So it's like that inner drive also pushes them to understand themselves on a deeper level.
Exactly. However,
Uh-oh, there's always a however.
well, Adam does point out that the hermit card can have a shadow side.
Oh.
He mentions things like dogmatism, maybe a bit
Okay.
of mistrust.
Interesting. Could you elaborate on that a little?
Of course, it's like any tarot card, really. They all have a spectrum of potential expressions, right?
Right.
So with the hermit, those shadow aspects might manifest as, I don't know, a tendency to be a bit rigid in one's thinking, maybe even a little suspicious of others.
Like too much of a good thing can sometimes backfire.
Something like that. It's all about awareness,
Yeah.
finding that balance.
Awareness is key. And speaking of things that might require some balance, Adam has some interesting things to say about health and well-being for those born on January 9th.
Yeah, so he really emphasizes the importance of stress management for these January 9th folks.
Yeah, it does seem like they might need to, actually schedule in some relaxation time,
Maybe. The book even mentions that they can be prone to stress-related ailments, headaches, tension, that whole deal.
It's like all that drive and ambition. If they're not careful, it can, backfire a little.
Right. It's a good reminder for everyone, really, to prioritize self-care.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy,
Yeah.
right? Adam suggests simple things like actually putting downtime in your schedule.
Oh, I love that. Scheduling downtime.
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
Right. Or, finding a hobby that brings you joy. But, and this is important, Adam stresses, it has to be something not work-related.
It's about actively disconnecting from that always-on mentality. Think of it this way. Even the most powerful engine needs periods of rest and maintenance to, keep running smoothly.
Such a good analogy. Yeah. So for all you ambitious January 9th listeners out there, listen to your bodies, take breaks, maybe even schedule that massage. Yeah. Your future self will thank you.
So as we get towards the end of our deep dive into January 9th birthdays, what really stands out to you about these individuals?
Well, Adam's birthday book, it's given us a lot to ponder, right? Ambition, resilience, numerology, even a little dash of tarot wisdom.
It's true. We've covered a lot of ground. We have. But for me, what really stands out is how, interconnected these different aspects are. Take, for instance, the whole ambition thing we've been talking about with January 9th, and then you bring in the Hermit card.
Ooh, that is an interesting connection. Could you unpack that a little?
Yeah, so on the surface, right, you've got ambition, which is all about, outward achievement, making things happen.
Right, going for it.
Exactly. And then you have the Hermit, which is all about introspection, solitude, turning inward.
It's kind of opposites in a way.
Right, but if we think about it, that drive for self-understanding for the January 9th folks, it could actually be fueled by that ambition,
How so?
Well, because by understanding themselves better, by going inward, they're actually better equipped to achieve those goals, to maximize their potential. It's like know thyself, but applied to ambition.
Wow. I never thought about it like that. It's so true, though.
Right. And that's where, those potential pitfalls we talked about earlier come into play. Because without that balance, that drive for self-knowledge, it can become, a little too intense, which can lead to, like Adam mentioned, that rigidity, the dogmatism, maybe even the mistrust.
Like they need that balance, that flexibility to keep those hermit tendencies in check.
100%. It's about recognizing those tendencies and making conscious choices to, make sure that ambition is tempered by wisdom and self-awareness.
It's a lifelong journey for all of us, but yeah, maybe even more so for those born on January 9th, the day of ambition.
Right.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive on January 9th birthdays, I think it's time for, a final thought-provoking question for our listeners to ponder. So Adam's birthday book had given us a lot to think about when it comes to January 9th birthdays, right?
It really has.
But if you circle back to that core theme, the day of ambition, it really begs the question, what drives you? What are your ambitions?
It's a big question and an important one no matter when your birthday is.
For sure. It's not limited to just January 9th, folks, but maybe, take some time to really reflect on that today. What legacy are you hoping to build? Not just for yourself, but for your loved ones. What impact do you want to make on the world?
Yeah, those are good ones to sit with. Sometimes just the act of writing those thoughts down can be really illuminating.
Oh, that's such good advice. Get those journals out, folks. And with that, we wrap up our deep dive into the fascinating world of January 9th birthdays.
Such a fascinating exploration.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, no matter when you were born, you have the power to create a life that's meaningful and fulfilling. Until next time.